What's going on, YouTube? This is Don Russo from Freeway Music, and I am hanging out on my back porch again today. It is spring break, and I'm enjoying a week at home, and so I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to talk today about major scales. I did a video recently on minor scales and how to make them easy. So today I'm going to show you how to make major scales really easy to digest and understand, okay? There are only, just like minor scales, there's only 3 patterns that you need to worry about. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to explain to you what a major scale is. Then I'm going to show you the 3 basic patterns, how to play those in more than 1 octave, and then how to apply that information, okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go and just show you what a major scale looks like on 1 string. So let's just say I started from G, right? So if you go whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Backwards, half step, whole, half, whole. So whole, half, whole, half. So 2 wholes and a half, 3 wholes and a half. And that's a major scale. No matter where you do it from. If you do it from A, no matter what string you do it on, you could do it on this string from C. So today we're going to be doing it in the 5th position. I like the 5th position a lot. It's a great place to do exercises, okay? So what I'm going to do is start off with the 3 basic major scale shapes. So we'll just call them 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is going to start with your index finger, okay? You're going to go 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, just like that. And the next string, same thing, 5, 7, 9. And then the next string we go 6, 7. And fingering, I'm going first, middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky, first, middle. Okay? Okay, that's the first major scale pattern. All right, the second one's going to be in the middle finger. I'm going to go 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 4, 6, 7, 7, 6, 4, 7, 5, 4, 7, 5. Middle, pinky, first, middle, pinky, first, ring, pinky. Backwards is pinky, ring, first, pinky, middle, first, pinky, middle. Okay? So I got pattern 1, and then what we call pattern 2. And then I'm going to go to my pinky for the 3rd pattern, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go pinky, first, ring, pinky, first, ring, pinky, first. Now I could do 2 things here. I could go, or I could do it like this and move the 7 over here, the 7th note here. So here I've got the 7th note with my pinky, and this one I've got the 7th note. For today I'm going to do this one. I'll show you why in just a bit, okay? Okay, so the 3 patterns I have. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Alright, so once you got that down, you want to take those same patterns and move them to each string. So I'm going to start here on the A string, from this D note here. I was doing them all from A. I'm going to do the same pattern. Watch. This one doesn't change at all. Middle finger stays the same. Now the pinky one's going to be slightly different because of the B barrier, the GB barrier, which I did a whole video on that. So if you don't understand the GB barrier, make sure you get acquainted with that concept. It's very important, and I think it really simplifies the guitar. So I'm going to start here on the pinky, and I'm going to go up the pinky pattern. Normally I'd move back here, but that doesn't sound right anymore, right? So the notes have to move forward because of the B string. So this is what it looks like. That actually makes the pattern easier. Cool, so I did them from the low E, the A string, and then I want to make sure I master them from the next string, the D string. So here we go. And right there, you notice normally I would go but that doesn't work anymore because of the B string, so those have to move up. You can slide up to your first middle like that, or you can do it with your middle and ring finger like that. Cool. So now we go pattern 2. Shift for the B string, and then pattern 3. Shift for the B string. So I got 1, 2, and 3 from the low E, A, and D strings, and I go to the G string, same thing. Shift. Middle pattern, shift. So this one you can actually do with your first finger if you want. And I go pinky pattern. And I shift right away. And I can use my ring finger instead. Cool. Now I'll get on here. I'm going to start from, I'm going to go to F right here, just so I can stay in the circle of 4s. So I'm moving up on the B string. I'm going to just do pattern 1, 2, and 3. I go to B flat, 1, 2, and 3. Good. So what I've done is I've just practiced each of those 3 patterns, and that's it. There's only 3 patterns in the major scale, really, and you just connect them together. I've connected those, I've practiced those on each string, rather. So after you get that where you feel comfortable, then you can start doing 2 octaves of a major scale. So let's just say, for example, I was doing A major like this. And I ended on that note there. So I ended on my middle finger naturally, which is going to be pattern 2. So I could get right into pattern 2. And then I ended on my pinky, which is pattern 3. So I've taken that major scale as far as I can go. Okay? Now, I can use different patterns. Like if I wanted to go right here and slide up to my first finger as opposed to my middle finger, then I would be in pattern 1 again. And I can do that all the way up. My bad. So I could do I could go 1 to 1, or I could even go 1 to the third pattern. So pattern 1. And if I want to put my pinky here, which is kind of a weird move. So I could do that if I want to. It's a little bit awkward and not quite as functional as doing 1 to 2. So I usually just go to the one that falls to naturally. But it is good to practice them all in case you do have to have an awkward move for some reason. Alright, so let's say I started from the middle finger on the low E string. I'm going to naturally end on the pinky right here. So I'm going to do pattern 3. Cool. Alright, let's go to the pinky finger here. I'm going to do pattern 3. And right here I end on my middle finger because I did this one. So the middle finger pattern, pattern 2. Back down the first pattern, sorry. Like that, there we go. Alright, I could go use that 7 right there like I talked about earlier in the video. Instead of going, I could go here. And that would be pattern 1 now. Alright, so to practice this, once you get the basic patterns down, and then step 2 is moving them to each string, step 3 is putting them together like I just did. So I did it from the low E, now I'll go to the A, same thing. On the middle finger pattern. Cool, then I go pattern 2 here, pattern 3, back down pattern 2. Then here, pattern 3, and then pattern 2. Cool. And then I'm going to go here to the D string, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do pattern 1. Then I'm going to go from here, go to pattern 2, and back down pattern 1. So I only practice 7 positions of scales. It's going to be first, middle, and pinky on the low E, first, middle, and pinky on the A, and first finger on the D. Because once you get past that, you kind of start repeating. Like if I go to the middle finger on the D, I've already covered that by doing the first pattern on the low E. So I'm starting to double up my work at that point, which is unnecessary. I don't need to do that. Okay, it's just going to add extra work that I don't need to do. So here's what you need to practice. Number 1, make sure that you have the major scales down in just the 3 patterns memorized. Number 2, make sure that you can do those 3 patterns from each string. Number 3, make sure that you can connect those patterns together and do them from the first, middle, and pinky on the low E, first, middle, and pinky on the A, and the first finger on the D. Call those composite patterns when you put multiple patterns together, or you could say multiple octaves of the B major scale, as opposed to just doing 1 octave of the major scale. Okay, now, real quick, let's talk about how we can apply this information, okay? So, if I was jamming in a major key, let's just say, the key is C. So if I was jamming in C, I could just land anywhere in the neck that I wanted to. Like I could be like right here. Okay, this is C, okay? So I'm going to be in this octave zone here, which I have a whole video on octave zones if you don't understand those. Okay, so here we go. This is called the 6/4 octave zone. So I would go pattern 1 to pattern 2 to pattern 3. So I got this nice long composite major scale. So I got this jam right here. Right? Just jamming right there in that scale, right? So if I'm playing here in C, I could be like, well, maybe I want to play from this C right here. All right, so that would be pattern 1 to pattern 2. Cool, and I'm just jamming right there in that C major scale right there, okay? Now if I switch keys, let's say I switch keys, like I went from the key of C. So the first thing you can do with this is you can never get lost. So you find your position on the neck, let's say it's this C, this octave zone. Well, I play my pattern 1, right? My pattern 3, and my pattern 2. Never get lost, right? So no matter what someone is playing, if they tell you the key, you know, if they're like, hey, I'm playing an E flat, you're like, okay, well, here's an E flat right here. And I'm like, I'm in my middle finger, so I'll do the middle finger pattern and then pattern 3. Or you can go to this E flat. Or this E flat. And you never get lost. You can jam in those notes and, you know, making them sound musical is a whole other thing we can talk about, but at least get you in the right place playing the right notes. Let's say that somebody switched keys on you, right? They're in this key. And all of a sudden they go. So this is the key of C. And I'm switching to the key of E flat. So what we would do is we would find our C right here. I'm gonna go middle finger right here. I'm gonna play a C major scale. And then I'm gonna go right here to E flat and play an E flat major scale. So I would be going from C to E flat. So check it out. flat. So you get the idea. I'm just basically switching from the key of C to E flat. I don't even need to play the chords for you to hear the changes. Check it out. So you got. Cool. So today, what I hope you learned is, number one, your 3 basic major scale patterns. Number 2, how to play them on each string. Number 3, how to play them in multiple octaves. And number 4, how to jam with them over one specific key. And the last thing, number 5, how to take them and use them over key changes. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, please put them in the comment section. Please subscribe to our channel. And if there's something you want to learn about, like a specific learning event, something about the guitar, you have a theory question, there's a certain song you want to learn. I've got some video games that I've been putting up, how to play like Mario Brothers and Zelda, some of that if you want to learn something like that. Just comment, let me know. I'll be happy to teach you guys. I'm going to be putting up videos every week, and I'm excited to teach you guys, and I'll see you next time.